Bye. Hello, Jody Raynsford.
Hello, David Hellard. I think that's the first time we've synced that properly.
We've got a countdown now. Wow.
Wow. We hit the big time. How are you, David Hellard?
How are things?
Oh, no, I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, I just messaged today the lovely Holly Rush. Oh no, she changed her surname. Because I've been doing weights for a bit.
She hasn't changed her surname because you keep emailing her, has she? That's not.
Maybe that's how it starts.
Weirdly, every time I talk to her, she changes her name and her email and all her contact details. It's very weird.
And her house. Yeah, but she keeps on writing to me via the legal system. But I've been asking her about. So I did weights on Thursday. I did weights last week. Then I did weights on Friday. Sorry, and I've done weights. I did weights 2 days ago. Yeah. And previously, when I've done weights, because say you're looking at your training and you have your standard kind of structure of Tuesday track, Thursday tempo run. You might do a park run Saturday, or some kind of tempo again, and then Sunday's your longer run. So the trouble is, where do you fit weights into this? So typically you do it on a Monday or a Wednesday or Friday. And I've just been so wrecked by the weight sessions that yesterday when I was running back, I thought I'd delay my run till the end of the day. And I ended up jogging unbelievably slowly home, where I walked like the last half mile because my legs are just so dead, just so trashed. So I don't know if this is a transitory thing where as soon as I get more used to the weights, which I have been doing for a while, but maybe not quite as focused as I had done in these ones. But I just don't know when I'm going to be able to run if I do weights.
So what do you have a set routine that you do each time, or do you focus on a different body part during each weight session?
I just do legs, and then a bit of core and like a few things. Once I've done, I do my rep, then I'll do some other exercise as like 30 seconds of that, or whatever it might be called, dead bugs or Copenhagen's. Things, and so they're exercises on the side.
What are dead bugs and Copenhagen's? What are you dealing drugs to me or something? I don't understand what you're talking about. What the fuck are Copenhagen's? What?
So Copenhagen's, if they're called right, it's just that's for the injury that I had 3 years ago, where my adductor ripped away. It just strengthens the adductor. So these like that and the dead bugs is like a core exercise. They're just to make sure that I'm not getting injured again. So, but yeah, it'll be the typical things where you do like a split leg squat.
And also, is it all body weight stuff?
No weights, kind of big weights. Yeah, trying to get stronger.
Yeah.
With the hope that will make me faster, and I won't have to train as hard or do long Sunday runs, which is what I've previously nearly always got fast by just absolutely piling on miles.
But are you
like intervals?
When it comes to your weights though, are you doing like the heaviest you can do each time? Are you doing it to like exhaustion, to failure?
Yeah.
Right.
Not quite to failure, but I do the heaviest I can do, like 5 or 6 of them.
Right. Why?
So decent. Just because that's the way to get strong.
Well, why don't you? Well, wouldn't it help to do, say, 80% of your max, so you could do it 3 times a week rather than 100% and then being fucking destroyed by the time the next one rolls around?
True, but then if you're not, it's going to take too long to get strong.
Well, it's the same way that running works. You can't do 100%. You can't go 100% every day all week. It's the same with weights. You're training legs 3 times a week.
You But then
you're
when
training
you do
your
a
legs
tempo
3
run,
times a
that's
week
pretty
and
much...
running as well.
No, I'm only doing weights once or twice.
Right. Okay.
So
but you're doing
that's
it.
like, how do you? So this is the element that, because I've never integrated training properly before, weights training, and my understanding previously had been if you get it in early enough and you start to do it while you're building up your other training, your body gets used to it because there's never those big jumps in the same way. So yeah, we'll see how it develops.
But the thing is, it is like running though. Like if you are going to as heavy as you possibly can till failure, that's going to increase your weights will increase, and each time. So it's like running. If you keep pushing yourself every time you do those weights, yes, you will get stronger. But there's going to be an impact, possibly in terms of injury or something else. Like it's never going to. That will never get easier. Whereas you could probably, if you, go on.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm trying to space them out and give myself as much time in between and do like little recovery runs and things like that to get the blood pumping back to them.
Why are you not doing upper body stuff?
Because I've been thinking back to what Camille. What's the point?
What? There's so much to work on. There's so much to work on. It's
as soon as you start doing, because I could in theory do your upper body stuff as well, but then you're left in that position of, well, you're meant to do core, you're meant to do legs, you're meant to do upper body, and then you're meant to do running, and I'm just not going to do all of that. So I'm cutting upper body stuff. I'm just calling that out now. I'm being realistic, and legs I can do, but I'm not going into the gym to do upper body stuff as well when there's not going to be a direct correlation between that and my running, and I don't care about the vanity.
Oh, it's such that is such an unbalanced approach. That feels like there's a fucking recipe for disaster. That just feels like that's a recipe for.
Yeah, but if you've got skinny legs beneath a big body,
your body is a single unit. Like you can't. Even if you did say a small amount of like body weight stuff in relation to your upper body, at least, I think that it would be a lot more beneficial. Even if you didn't have time, even if you just did there's an element
of upper body in any kind of other exercise you do anyway, because you're shifting all these weights around, you're having to grip a lot of the time, but having big biceps isn't going to help with running.
Well, you're not going to get big biceps,
massively
David. Like,
tied into
you're not going to get big biceps. That is not going to happen. That will never happen. I'm just concerned about possible injuries here, David. That's what I'm concerned about. You've taken so much time off, and it feels as though are you trying to shortcut or your way back without in order to get rid of that long run?
If anything, I'm trying to protect myself in the long run by getting properly strong and getting everything working well together, rather than just running. So, and I need to go back and listen to the Camille episode, her first one, where she was talking about her weights and how they integrated in. And maybe it's that I need to stop some of my harder runs and just switch that up a bit. But yeah, it's a progression, and I'm going to try and do a session today once my legs have warmed up a bit.
Oh, okay, this sounds perfect for some unsolicited advice by do-badders. Like, what weight training are you doing? How are you integrating it? What have you found works for you? Because I'm sure everyone's done the same thing in terms of when it started as a runner, going out doing that. I'm sure some people, some of the advice given by fucking Instagrammers about doing things till failure, having separate leg days and upper body days and stuff like that when you're not a bodybuilder. Like, so much advice is given from the perspective of power lifters and bodybuilders and stuff like that, whereas no one gives any advice basically is in terms of like influences around different types of weight training. So it'd be great to find out do-badders, like either leave comment below or jump in the Facebook group and let us know what you do as your weight training routine. I don't want to know whether you think I'm right or wrong, because I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is, what do you do?
And are you now on the Alban app? Have you been exercising?
I've not downloaded it. Sorry, I've not downloaded it. I
not even downloaded it.
Not even downloaded it. No, I totally forgot. Literally, the last time you said to me you should get the Alban app, that was the last time I thought about it. I have not. Literally, as we got on this,
I did then set up a conversation with John in a messenger, which he then had a chat with John about the Alban app after.
Yep.
So you're berating me for not also doing upper body exercise when you haven't downloaded an app.
Downloading it, does that class as an upper body exercise? Like, what? No, I haven't even downloaded it.
I mean, it seems like it is at the moment, relative to...
I totally forgot.
Well, I'm trying to think what the news is.
Oh, wait, no! Wait,
I'm trying to think what the latest news is, so...
No, I know tell you what the latest news is. Now, this is really good. Now, what I like to think of what you can do is, as a listener or a viewer, you can use Bad Boy Running as we're here to broadcast your messages. Now, if you don't have a voice... we're here to broadcast it. Not in an Elon Musk style. We will totally censor you if we don't like you or we don't like what you've got to say or anything else like that. But what I like the idea is that people, they hear things on other podcasts and hear things about themselves, that we've recorded things, and they are using us now as a forum for apologies. And so this goes back. So we've had a message... Ooh. On Instagram. So if you record to if you listen to the Mike Stocks episode, he talked in detail about 24-hour races and everything else like that, and he talked about the ultra running community. And in one episode, he talks particularly about doing a 24-hour race and bringing someone along to the race who didn't really capture, they were kind of new to ultra running, new to 24 hours, didn't really capture it. And so every time they went round, they called out runners to get them to overtake or move out the way, which they did solidly for hours and hours, which seemed to piss off everybody there. And so he didn't name and shame. But what I love is that subsequently, this person has got in contact with us on Instagram. And it's a guy called Joe Turner. So Mike didn't reveal his name, but he says,
"Are we allowed to say their name? What?
Yeah, no. This is fine. Listen to the message. Okay, hi guys. Okay. I wanted to message as I was that guy that Michael was talking about. I had no idea what I was doing and went in the attitude of a track race, which was selfish and disrespectful. I would therefore like to publicly apologise to the ultra running community, the 24-hour community, and the specific participants of the Gloucester 24-hour race. Knowing that I had such a negative impact on the day.
He's going big.
I apologise. Yeah, exactly. I'm apologising to a lot of people.
Just in case.
He must think that we are listened to by many more people than we are. Knowing that I had such a negative impact on the day.
Does he mention the Track Keepers Union? Track Keepers Union?
I would like to apologise to President Zelensky and not being able to help. Okay, so knowing that I had such a negative impact on the day people would have looked forward to for a long time, especially when the race sat in terms of lockdowns, makes me feel sick as Michael may feel 11 hours into a race. I am so sorry to that community that is full of lovely and amazing people who have welcomed in both my mum and wife when crewing. I don't deserve the time, but if you can give my apology to the ultra running community, ultra running world, I would be grateful. I have learned so much; it'll never happen again. He's added this extra bit, which I'm going to read. I'm going to read. Please go slightly easy on me. I actually listened to the podcast after hearing that my gran had died in the hope it would cheer me up, as I was trying to get from Cambridge to Liverpool to see her in time. Keep up the great work on the pod. I've messaged Michael too. Again, sincerest apologies. Isn't that sweet?
Oh God, oh no. That's incredibly kind. And I can just imagine listening to that poddy when it suddenly drops, like, oh, was no one else doing all of that? Oh, do they mean me? Oh God. Oh. Yeah, I mean, absolutely fair play for you. Clearly huge remorse there, and just didn't understand what the etiquette was. It's hard though, isn't it? Especially in cycling, if you come from a cycling background or other things where you do say like passing or left or right, or you might think you're actually being useful, or But
from the cycling background,
it'll never happen again.
If you come from a cycling background and you're approaching a runner and you're saying left or whatever, you must know that a runner will never get out of your way, because that's the thing. So you must realise that doesn't work on runners. I do think part of me though wanted him to come back and just be much with a lot more smack talk and just kind of go, yeah, and I did do that, and god damn it, who the hell does everyone think they are? They should move out of my way. I was going for a big time. Fuck the ultra running community.
I was 10 seconds under the hour mark. Smashed it.
You are lucky I didn't go through people, rather than I do want someone like that in the ultra running community. I'm getting a bit sick of hearing how great the ultra running community and supportive is. I want a massive dickhead. I mean, a massive dickhead who loves giving it large. Who are you, that person, listener? Can you be that person?
That's why you love me, my friends. But did you see Sorokin? He smashed another record.
Yep,
of course he did. So they had I'm going to say track 100. I have no idea what the race was. I can't remember. So Alexander Sorokin, he was back. He went through the marathon mark in 2:32 and broke the 100k record for 6:05. Unbelievable. Oh, wow. Just an incredible time. Mike, who we mentioned actually, I think he came second in that race. Incredible. Yeah. And Camille came over. Camille came over and raced. And what I love about Camille is, I think, unlike nearly every other ultra runner in our group that you hear of, she won't always finish races. She's quite happy to call it based on, this isn't going my way, or actually I'm just going to get to here, see how I feel, test the water. And yeah, she ran well, called it early, and just thought no. And I respect that so much, because I think we're tied to this notion of never DNF. But when it comes to things like 100 milers, 24-hour races, track, there's these things take you so deep that people need to be thinking more long term. So great result. But more feedback. Remember a few weeks ago we asked about relaunching their launching their recycling. You can now recycle their gear. So you can have it refurbished by someone and by a specialist they recommend, or you can buy recycled gear. So we did a poll. This one didn't fall apart.
I know, I was going to say.
The first poll that hasn't...
People are taken seriously.
People haven't gone... Yeah.
It was very disappointing.
They've said... It is. Well, I think in some ways there were less avenues to go down to ruin this. But the question was, would you buy race performance critical kit refurbished? So 100 people said yes. 28 people said depends what critical kit it is. 6 said no. And 1 said provided there's no impact on race times, injury rates. So actually, that's pretty good. That we're looking at, that's sort of 60-70% of people total would use refurbished kits, and the other ones are dependent on the kit. So it shows you there really is a desire there, and having recycled kit won't put people off.
Well, I think there's other factors that I haven't put into play there, like cost, like it's like a refurbished Apple, for example, is still almost as expensive as a new one. So I think a lot of people will be happy with refurbished kit, but if the price is right, you don't want to. And I suppose it's also what you're using for. Do you want to use refurbished kit for trade? I mean, the majority of kit you're going to use, it's going to burn out, is going to be the stuff for training, isn't it? Like it's going to be, and I think people are happy to use refurbed kit, definitely on training, definitely things like that. When it comes to actual races, whether you then you make your other kit last longer by not having to use it all the time. I don't know. I think that there's so many variables.
Yeah, but the question was race/performance critical kit. So I think it
you asked it in the wrong fucking group, didn't you? You asked it in the wrong group. So.
Well, you're saying our group's a cheapo.
I'm saying the majority of our group do not run for performance.
Yeah, that's possibly true. But still race critical. You know, the performance is finishing, and there's still a fair few do. But I think that's good news. And actually, with a lot of ultras, you end up with a kit list that half the stuff, you know, your first aid kit, your various other things, your bivvy bag, you're probably never going to use anyway. Well, hopefully, you're never going to use because they're only in there as insurances or So that I think that's hopefully other companies are listening and hear the message.
That I would definitely use the refurb venom pump, because you know that no one would have got any use out of it. There's got to be a huge market for that, reselling venom pumps.
Yeah, and and what we might do in the future is get on to talk about it, because are fairly unique in that I think they're set up almost as a not-for-profit where their whole mission is about they've like the clothes and the kit has come out of the race, and the race was set up with the express desire to try and get people to, you know, have more of a connection with their surroundings. And so I don't know whether they can do this financially because they're not there just to make as much money as possible, or whether this is, you know, and therefore they can do what they think is the right thing, or whether this is the type of business proposition that could work for a larger company that is just looking at their bottom line.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll reach out to them and just see what they say, because we did have on probably 3 years ago, I believe, to talk about how to do the rise.
So much has changed since then. I wonder. We're going to Zurich next week, Do-Badders.
Yes.
And I wonder whether we can ask On about their recycling thing, because I haven't heard much about that since. Have you heard a lot about it?
So they do actually have a recycling system, is that? I can't recall.
Remember Cyclone? It was called Cyclone, wasn't it? Remember we covered it? And you had there was a subscription service. Yeah, remember, because I had an issue with the name. I had an issue with the name, didn't I? Remember? That didn't make it onto the podcast.
To do with former usage. Yes, indeed. Well, it looks like it's still a tab on their website, which we can ask them about that. We did ask in the group. I've not looked yet what questions we should put to the CEOs of On Running.
I do. There was a theme
something
to
else
that.
That's come
there was
out.
a theme. There was a theme to that. The theme was about how long the shoes last, about getting gravel and other things caught in the bubbles or whatever they call them. And then the third major thing was, why are you not doing this as a Zoom call? This is the carbon footprint to send us there is going to be horrific. Those are the general 3 points.
That's a valid point. Yeah, that's quite a good point, and we don't know what's going to happen. So, and that's as much as a slight on us as on them, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, I have insisted on a Range Rover driving me the 75 miles to and from the airport. So hopefully that outweighs the carbon footprint.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we can ask them about that, because actually that is an interesting question to know if it is part of their considerations or not. Now linking on from that, so previously we've talked about Adidas's attempts to do sustainable shoes, and you've always been deeply scathing of the fact that no one would ever buy them. No. I've not read this ask.
I didn't say that I wouldn't buy them. I'm saying that right now, primary factor over whether someone buys something is based on other factors rather than environmental. But all things being equal,
I've got a knock on the door. Sorry, Jody. One sec.
You're stopping this argument from happening again. That's what's happening. Oh my God. It must be. No, it's not going to be Mo Farah if it's doorbell.
Sorry, Jody. Sorry, viewers. / listeners. Yes. So you were saying the primary driver.
I was going to say that primary driver are things other than environmental. If you give someone something that has an environmental option and the cost is minimal in terms of thing, they will go. I think that's when people will buy the environmental option. Or don't even give them a choice. You can only buy the environmental option. Like, just say, like, we're making these shoes, they're fully recycled, they have, and there is zero choice. The
like
price
a vegan
is this
restaurant.
Well, it's not like a vegan. You can choose to go in a vegan restaurant or not go in a vegan restaurant. It's not bloody... You sound like fucking Piers Morgan when you kind of...
Sometimes they trick you. They look like a KFC. You look like a KFC, you go in and you're like... This doesn't smell as...
Did you go into the Burger King? Did you go into the vegan, the plant-based Burger King in Leicester Square because they turned it plant-based for a month, and then they basically, what's it called, plant-based news or whatever they're called, just had someone there permanently outside the front door going, "What do you think about Burger King being plant-based?" And it was fucking hilarious. Like, it was just people going, "They've taken the choice away from me. Well, you don't have to go in. They've taken my choice. I think it's unfair. It's against my rights." What? Like, it was brilliant. It was utterly brilliant. Just the comments and stuff they got. I just didn't know whether you saw that. But enough about vegan restaurants. Sorry, continue.
I had no idea. But I like that because a lot of people would eat in there when they're absolutely hammered, and they instinctively are like, right, I've come out of this bar. Where's open? They go to their Burger King, they order their burger, and they're like, What's different about this situation?
Nothing tastes different. It still tastes... burgers from Burger King and McDonald's... People go, oh yeah, what's it called? The bloody McDonald's have got the McPlant. They taste like fucking cardboard anyway. So if they still taste like cardboard, it makes no sense. The only difference is you've got to pay like twice as much and wait 3 times longer. That's how you tell it's bloody vegan. And it's got a green bag.
Oh, is that right? Is it more expensive?
It is more expensive, yeah.
Okay.
But
turns out death is cheap, it seems. But it's weird, isn't it? Like, I guess that's because you're paying to a company rather than to.
It's funny how
down the price of meat.
Yeah, well, because it's subsidised as well. That's the thing, isn't it? It's subsidised. But let's not talk about the politics of that. Because the funny thing is, like, when I did a juicing thing once, and so I used to go to the supermarket, like the little supermarket, and all I bought was like fruit and veg. And you realise when you buy a whole basket of fruit and veg how unusual that is. Like, and people will say to you, "Oh wow, what are you doing with all this fruit and veg? Are you cooking something? Are you making something?" or something like that, because people aren't used to seeing just a basket of fruit. And it's really expensive. Like, it's really expensive, loads of fruit and veg, because it's just, I don't know, it's funny how, like, meat can cost more, considering all the production, than vegetables. It's fucking insane. Yeah,
no, that is weird. Yeah. Well, this shoe isn't made of meat. Good link back.
So it's Adidas have got another one, have they? They're still plugging away. It's not the. What one is it? Because there was one that came out, a football boot that came out.
This one's like it's Adizero crossed with what's Allbirds? Have you heard of them?
No.
So they're a footwear brand. So these guys, I think I even know them. So Allbirds is a New Zealand company that sells footwear and apparel. Their first shoe was the Wool Runner, which is made from New Zealand superfine merino wool.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was in an incubator with those guys quite a few years ago, and yeah, and
you told them this will never work. This will.
Well, I remember thinking it's a woolen shoe that I'm not sure how it like works for running unless you're barefoot. which then could work quite well. So they've done it as a collaboration. That's really interesting. I wonder whether, because you'd think, what is Adidas getting from linking up with this other brand? Are they trying
publicity
or have the brand come to them? But they could do it themselves, you'd think.
Well, I don't know.
So it's selling for $120 for an Adizero X, which Adizeros are... Let's have a look. I mean, they seem to be... They don't seem to be more expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If anything, cheaper. Although yeah.
With all of these though, these things come out. You never see them on anyone. When do you ever see any of these things on anyone? Like how many actually sold are these? Because they're all limited edition, aren't they?
I've no idea on these. Well, maybe we should speak to Allbirds and just get their view, because these are made with at least 25% recycled materials, and they've got bio-based midsoles. So it does look as if they're actually thinking about ways to... My worry would be that Adidas would then just steal all of your ideas and potentially your technology. But there we go. The thing Adidas X Allbirds. Doobad, has anyone tried them?
The thing is, I was looking the other day for football boots, because Hugo plays a lot of football and I don't have any football boots to play with him, and so when it rains, it's disastrous. And so I was looking at football boots notoriously made out of leather, of course. So I was looking at vegan football boots, and the thing that I came across again was an Adidas thing. So this happened probably I think it was like last year or something, but it was Paul Pogba and Stella McCartney had kind of like teamed up to do this collaboration for these vegan football boots. And if you look at these boots, you're just like no one's going to buy those. I mean, like, can you imagine how big is the footballing vegan market? I can't see those things intersecting each other. I can't see how much... The Venn diagram there is going to be so... It's just two circles next to each other. How many, like, plant-based...
I'd say in young people, though, that could really change in young people. And I could see that being under 18, under 25s, far bigger. If you look at... And also, you get in early. Part of it is branding, because it's strange that it's always Adidas who are doing these versus Nike or Under Armour. Don't seem to be in the same way.
It would be really good to see what the benefit is. I think it's just a pure publicity stunt. But it would be good if there is someone like in the know about these to find out, because what is the model here? Because go on.
I'll speak to Allbirds and get them on, because they're a good sized company where we're still hopefully of interest to them as a reasonably sized podcast. So we'll speak to them and see if we can get their insight into where they think it's going. Because the big question is this just PR? Is this putting down a marker to then try and seize the market once the market's grown, or is this a good business side product as well? Yeah,
because the thing is, it's fine me saying, oh, this is it's all publicity and stuff like that, but if you are Allbirds, you don't want to be involved in greenwashing. You don't want to be involved in anything like that, do you? You don't want to you don't want to have that association. You've built yourself a brand, and admittedly your brand's not the size of Adidas, but you still have a brand and a huge amount of credibility and following. So if there was ever that thought about that kind of greenwashing thing, then you just wouldn't do it. So there has to be, I think that's a really interesting point, because why does no one else do it? Are they just not as forward thinking, or do they not see a commercial benefit, or I tell you what would be good though. Like, what if Doobaders know some collaborations that have been fucking disastrous? That would be great. I'd love to hear about those. or even suggest a few that would be good that you'd like to see. I mean, did you see? The I sent you a message around a brewery offering to do a bad boy running special.
Yes.
Did you see that?
I did. Sorry, I'm behind in nearly all messages on all platforms. But I get the FU Budweiser.
FU Budweiser, yeah. I thought that might be a little bit too. There might be some issues with that, but I like the spirit of it.
We could do an FU Bud, though, couldn't we?
FU Bud, that would be. Yeah, I suppose we could.
It could be CBD then laced as well, just to get in with the bud.
I don't even know if they got CBD and things. Yeah, we want a guest beer, but can you add some CBD to it as well?
And anything else you want to throw in there that's just going to spice things up.
It's just a FU Bud cocktail. A nice crafty cocktail.
Well, I've got some controversy for you.
Ooh.
You know I love my cross country. I loved my cross country while I could still. Actually, this is two things. So, firstly, I'm now in South London. People probably know that. And
did you just say South London? I'm sure you just said I'm now in South London.
Of course, mate. As soon as you move down, you pick up the lingo. Hanging out with all the old boys.
Look at you with the low. Do you go down a social club?
Oh yeah, of course. And so. For one, there's a South London Summer League for running. I can't remember the name of the top of my head. And I'm now down here. I'm no longer really part of Heathside Running Club because I haven't renewed my membership / been there since I've stopped running. But they also don't, the Assembly League, they also don't enter. So now I'm wondering, can I enter the Assembly League as Bad Boy Running Club? Like, do we have to sign up? And are there any other do-badders out there? So that's number one. But number two is... so, do you remember in previous years I've mentioned about running cross-country in, I believe it was kind of northeast London, somewhere, where you'd have to run through a stream. And it was incredible because everyone would wipe out. It was incredibly hard to navigate. And just almost... So everything you love about cross country, but also a little bit perilous.
No, I can't remember a stream. No.
So I've only run this course once or twice, I think, because it was a relatively newer course that came on once we'd lost quite a few other. Bruno, can I say Bruno dubbed them in? But so Bruno's my spy on the ground when it comes to. Cross country, and so there's been some absolute controversy because it looks like that is no longer going to be in the course. It's Uxbridge. So this was a stream where the route just went straight over it. You did at least one lap, and no matter where you thought you should take the line, it always seemed to change, and that would be year to year, week to week as the water level changes. So this has caused some controversy because one of the clubs has said, and they've actually said you're allowed to say my name, but that was in a Facebook group, so I'm not sure if I can put it here. They've said 10 athletes ended up having to go to first aid. It took 2 of our senior women out of the race, and a very decent under 20 athlete ended up going to hospital with stitches. Had only just started training again. So, yeah, they're getting rid of the water run. And one of the individuals involved, who I believe wasn't at that meeting, is incredibly angry and has said, I can give a long reply, but in essence, it is cross-country, not a track race. Don't treat it like that. If athletes can't cope with the rigours of a cross-country fixture, then maybe it isn't for them. So this is the controversy where I loved that water crossing. I think many people love that water crossing.
So yeah. So what's your opinion? You think
I'm not sure.
You weak if you don't want it.
Like, we loved it because it was pretty perilous, and that was that was the joy of it. But that's absolutely also the reason why it's really bad.
Is this health and safety gone mad, David?
That's the thing. I think this is just health and safety, and I don't know where else.
It's just basic health. It's just basic protecting people.
And I'd have almost edged towards this is on the health and safety heading to madness. But then when you hear those numbers, when 10 athletes have ended up in first aid, 1 in hospital, not too bad in hospital, but still not what you necessarily want for cross country. That does. Where is the acceptable line of safety for something like a cross country race? And there would have been quite a lot of people would have run through this course throughout the course of the day. I'd estimate it would be. Cool, how many people are there? Let's say 1,000 people, 1,500 runners total would have gone through it, maybe a bit more. So that gives you a kind of understanding of, you're looking at 1% injury, 1% first aid rate, which is relatively high. Is that acceptable for something that is super fun because you might go down and be first aided? And that's what I don't know, what the line is.
What's the first aid rate on a London Marathon? Like, I take it first aid is anyone who seeks any kind of first aid. I suppose anyone that speaks to someone in relation to an ailment of some kind.
But I'd say on something like London Marathon, you've got it's going to muddy it a little bit.
Because it's beginners. I know it's mainly kind of first time runners and stuff
things like
that.
bloody nipples as well are gonna. Things like bloody nipples will come in a lot, where people will go for is that first aid, and you'll also have individuals running who are injured or who are heavily strapped up and shouldn't run. Whereas, cross country, most people there, the worst will be they'd have a slight tweak or a slight strain that they're nursing back and they'll still race. That would What
is first aid coverage like on a cross country run? Is it like non-existent? It's like at the end, start and end, with one person who has to do.
Yeah, I don't actually know where it is, how it happens.
I have never been to a cross country race. I've never experienced cross country. I've no idea. I've seen it on TV and it looked fucking boring as anything. I have never, and I've seen bits where people, mainly on Facebook.
Did it look boring to run though? Did it look boring to run, or did it look a little bit spicy?
It looked boring to run as well.
Boring to run. So is this still to you too boring? Only 1%.
We need
you wanting to up that.
I'd get there. I'd get in there, and I'd go. The thing is, think about how OCR people. I mean, if you run an OCR race, or used to run an OCR race, if you looked at that 1%, you go, "Guy, we've got to get the numbers higher on this. We've got to get the numbers higher. A 1% first aid rate is not what we're looking for."
Yeah.
What do you think it's like on a fell run? I'd like to know, like, what the comparative first aid rates are at different types of events, because if they're measuring that and they're using that as a reason to do that, that means that all races must have to record that, surely.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it would all come down
like
to
what's,
the
I'd just love to. I'd love to know. I'd love to know what, like, the first aid rate, the respective first aid rate for different types of races, and what is an acceptable band of that, and how kind of detailed. I think that's really interesting, because
I'd also like to know, does Ricky Lightfoot think that we're just soft? Are we soft Southerners with this? Like, would Ricky Lightfoot embrace it or not? Because he's the representation of just get it done.
I like the idea that you only enter races if there's a certain, like how there is a like a finisher rate. A completion rate or something, like,
like a Peril scale.
There's a Peril scale that you get to a certain level. I mean, in OCR, of course, they've created that and everything, and it's much more. Jumping over a fucking fire pit or something is but again, it's set up for safety still, isn't it? Even though it's like kind of fake danger.
So that's going to be our poll for the week. I'll ask it in the group. What level of peril on the Peril scale? What percentage of peril is acceptable?
It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter once you're on the race. It's before you get to the race. I think that's the thing, because I think most people certainly sort of 10 years ago when they were doing the MDS, it was a genuine concern that you may get lost or die. Like, it was a genuine concern for people going out there because there was so little about it. Whereas now, like, you got trackers, you got everything else. Like, that level of peril has massively reduced. You know, there's still all the dangers of heat and things like that. But I think with lots of different things, like, what is the perceived peril level, and what would you find acceptable that would get you entering?
And actually, with the added complication of something like cross country is with those injuries, I'm sure a lot of them would be from spikes, because you're running in a muddy environment where people have jagged metal on their feet. So if you go down, you can be in trouble. And
someone else stepping on you or something like that?
Oh yeah, I've gone down once in national cross country, and you shit yourself because you know that. Yeah, you know behind you are people who, it's not even that they've got spikes on their feet. They've got spikes on the front of their feet, and they're all 4-foot runners running on the tips of their toes.
And they don't care about you. They don't care about you at all.
Yeah.
This is not the ultra running community. This is not all rainbows and hope. This is PBs and focus.
It's a race of Joes, isn't it? It's a race of Joes. Just out there. We let you
unapologetic,
unapologetic.
Just don't care.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. If you fall down, which you would do in these,
or pushed, or are pushed, you never know. You can't trust cross-country runners.
And so that is also the issue. Is even if the lake crossing itself, you don't get injured on that, the cause of going down, where everyone's like trashing themselves the way through with these huge spikes, is you get pretty big cuts. Well, we'll find out. Well, it's I'll see if anything else desperate we need to do today to. No, we're good. There's nothing vital we need to put in, because it's been a fairly long bad stuff as ever. But do badders. Send us your responses. Send us your views. We haven't talked about service station marathon yet.
No. I wanted to do a little bit of research around it, because my question was around service station marathon. Because the thing about service stations is that you can only get to that service station via a motorway, can't you? That's the thing. And so, because I made some comment about going to a service station, but not going on the motorway to get there, and you can't do it. Or can you? And so I was thinking, like, running to all the different service stations, say around the M25, how is it doable? Can you actually do it? And so that was a question. I wonder if anyone's done it, but that was the kind of question around it, because we were talking about that as a concept of the service station marathon. Because it'd be great to, like, you know, to stop off at a service station on a long run, stuff like that. But you don't want to run down a motorway to it.
So you've basically chosen the most polluted routes of Britain, and you're trying to connect those up with some of the worst fast food provisions, expensively priced in the country, to create
to create the ultimate race.
If you do the right kind of medal, then like people will do it.
There's going to be loads of people. We've talked about all these like amazing races in the past, things like that. I'm talking about the service station marathon, and there will be lots of people who are going, "Oh yeah, fancy that." Yeah, just purely out of interest. But we can explore this further.
And how far do you think that would be?
I don't know. It's like, you know, we've got like the Capital Ring. That's the thing. It depends how you get to them. Like, I don't know whether they have some kind of service road or so. I've been trying to look at an OS map and get an idea of, because sometimes you can't tell. Like, sometimes roads pass near them, but you can't tell whether they actually connect to them.
Because the M25 is 117 miles.
Yeah.
And
but
so
you wouldn't be running round the M25, would you? You'd be going like outwards and inwards, wouldn't you? It'd be like a star kind of thing. You'd come back and then go out again, come back and go out again. That's what you'd think, rather than necessarily runs along. I don't know. That's the thing. There are loads of different ways to do it, which I think would be really interesting. Do you find a route that kind of goes around the M25 to meet up with them? Or do you go kind of back in London, out again, back in, out again, back in, out? I don't know. I don't know what the logistics are. But someone must have done it. I'm sure someone must have done it.
No one has done this. There's zero chance.
Oh, my doorbell's just gone. Sorry. Wait a minute.
That's what you do, Mo Farah, when your doorbell goes. You answer it. You answer it because you're not taking drugs. That's right. We'll be seeing Mo Farah next week at the running show. We were meant to talk about Run Show South. We're going to be there. We're going to be on stage a little bit. There's a ultra chill out zone, and there's also Mo Farah and Paula Ratcliffe and some other crazy big names. So come along. I'll check the date while Jody's not here, although I should know it at the tip of my tongue. Yes, 7th and 8th of May. Only a week away by the time this comes out.
What are we talking about?
I was just saying how that's what you do, Mo Farah, when the doorbell goes. You answer it. And then,
I made the same comment when you went to the door as well.
Brilliant. Then it reminded me that we're seeing him in 10 days' time at the Run Show South. So get your last minute tickets.
BBR. Use the code BBR. So you were saying there's no chance anyone's done that.
They might have done it, I think, over many days, but we'd have heard about it if someone had done it, because that's the type of thing that people would be telling everyone about and being like,
we'd have had them on. We'd have had them on by now.
We would have had them on, exactly. Cool. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We're going to be putting a poll in the group as to what is the level of peril. The perils. What was it? Peril scale?
Peril scale. It doesn't sound right now.
Doesn't sound right, does it? I'm sure it's better than that. Peril scale. Peril scale. So we'll be asking that in the group, and also we will. If you've got any suggestions for guests, then message me, David at badboyrunning.com, or spammers on Instagram. We're gonna be putting requests out for questions now. We're getting back organised, so follow us on Instagram to ask questions for future guests.
If you want to join the conversation, you can head over to the Facebook group, Answer 3 Questions, and join. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, share this with anyone that you think would be interested, and leave a comment below. We answer all of our comments. If you want merch, store.badboyrunning.com is the place to go. We've got loads.
Boom. Well, thanks for listening, guys. If this is a relatively new episode, go and listen to the A to Z of Do Battery. We've also mentioned Mike Stocks in here and Camille Heron and her training. And we will see you next time.
See you later.
Bye 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 bye.